Hello boys and girls. So since Miss Sheridan and I are not here today, what we're going to do is we're going to watch a little video that I've made about adding and subtracting mixed numbers. This is a review from what we did yesterday on the worksheets. I know some of you guys forget some of these things overnight, so we're just going to jump right in and review what we're supposed to be doing. Okay, so our first problem is 4 3/7 plus 3 3/7. So I know that I can add these up and down, or I can convert them to improper fractions. For this problem, I'm just going to convert to improper fractions just so I can get some practice with it. So I know that to convert a mixed number into an improper fraction, I multiply the whole number by the denominator, which would give me 28, and then I add that to the numerator. So 28 plus 3 is 31, and then I keep the same denominator, which is 7. Same thing for the bottom one. 3 times 7 is 21, and then I add that to the numerator. 21 plus 3 is 24, and then I keep the same denominator. Now I just add them. 31 plus 24 gives us 55/7. Now if I wanted to convert 55/7 back into a mixed number, I could divide 55 by 7. I know that 7 goes into 55 7 times because 7 times 7 is 49. When I subtract those, I get a remainder of 6. So if I was going to write that as a mixed number, my new mixed number would be 7 6/7. Now, if I did just add these straight up and down, I would get the same number. 4 plus 3 is 7. Keep my denominator of 7. And 3 plus 3 is 6. So I do get the same answer. Alright, so our next problem is 3 5/8 plus 5 6/8. I am just going to add this one straight up and down because I think it's a little bit easier and there's less steps. So I can add, I keep the same denominator, but I add 5 and 6, which is 11. And then I can add 3 and 5, which gives me 8. Now my mixed number is 8 11/8. But I know that I cannot have a mixed number with an improper fraction. So I have to change 11/8 into a mixed number and add it to my 8. So if I divide 11 by 8, I know 8 goes into 11 one time because 1 times 8 is 8. And when I subtract those, I get 3. So my new mixed number is 1 3/8. But I'm not finished because I still have this 8 over here, and I have to add that to this. So 8 plus 1 3/8 gives me 9 3/8. Alright, so moving into subtraction, we have 5 2/4 minus 2 1/4. I could subtract these up and down because I'm looking at my fraction on the top, and it is bigger than my fraction on the bottom. So I could subtract these up and down, or I can convert them into improper fractions and subtract. I'm going to do that one just for the practice again. 5 times 4 is 20, and then I add that to my 2 to get 22/4. 2 times 4 is 8, and I add that to my 1 to get 9/4. Alright, so when I subtract those, I keep my denominator of 4. 22 minus 9 gives me 13, so I have 13/4. Now if I wanted to convert that into a mixed number, I could do 13 divided by 4. 4 goes into 13 3 times because 3 times 4 is 12. When I subtract those, I get a remainder of 1, which gives me my new mixed number of 3 and 1/4. Now, if I did subtract them up and down, I would get the same answer. Keep my denominator of 4. 2 minus 1 is 1, and 5 minus 2 is 3. So I do get the same answer when I do both ways. Alright, and so for our last problem today, this one is going to involve regrouping because this is a skill that you guys really need to work on. So I have 6 and 1/5 minus 4 and 3/5. And I do notice that my fraction on top is smaller than my fraction on the bottom, so I know that I'm going to have to regroup. So if you remember, when I do regroup, I'm going to take a whole from this 6. So this 6 would then become 5. If I take a whole from here, I do have to add 1 to the fraction. So I need to add a fraction that's equal to 1 with a denominator of 5. This would be 5/5. So my new mixed number is going to be 5 and 6/5 minus 4 and 3/5. That didn't change. So I'd keep my denominator. I can now subtract 3 from 6, which is 3, and 4 from 5, which is 1. So my answer would be 1 and 3/5. Alright, so you guys are going to keep practicing these skills. You're going to keep working on the regrouping and the renaming, and we will see you tomorrow.